33 is the number of completion of the great work. The first Temple of Solomon stood for 33 years. David ruled for 33 years in Jerusalem. The Masonic order divided into 33 symbolic degrees. There are 33 segments in the human spinal column. Jesus was crucified in the 33rd year of his life.
Yes, he was. Lots of 33 right. signals. And it also has to do with Ukraine.
Fight for Ukraine. Ukraine. New world order.
This is ABC News. There's a couple clips here, but the story is that President Biden calls for $33 billion in aid to Ukraine.
There it is.
Biden admits the $33 billion package he is asking Congress to approve that we've been telling you about is a lot of money, but he says that's what it will take to keep up the fight to save Ukraine. And it includes more than $20 billion in new military assistance, $8.5 billion in economic assistance to help the government keep basic services, and $3 billion in humanitarian aid.
There you go. Broken down. Man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, not only is obviously 33 the sort of elite messaging number that this is all part of the plan and that the shifts are happening and yada, yada, yada. But even more, just like such a ridiculous amount of money. And people are complaining about, Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion. Yeah. And then Biden sends off $33 billion to fight again, to fight this war that we're not fighting, but we really are fighting, but that they're fighting. But now basically what's happening is we are buying Ukraine. That is what that $33 billion is for.
Yeah. I wonder if that number has to do with some money coming in from the Russian billionaires too. Maybe they're putting up the cash.
Perhaps, yeah. Maybe the oligarchs are, pitching in.
Yeah, this is a way for them to keep some kind of, ability, especially if they have businesses or whatever in the West. I can see some of these guys, depending on their network, sort of being like, we got to go over it. Sorry, Putin, but I got, most of my business is over here. So
yeah, it would only take about a dozen Russian oligarchs could easily put together $33 billion, or at least a big chunk of that to sort of partner with the U.S. in just straight up purchasing Ukraine, because that's what this is. I mean, it may not be like an ownership thing. There might not be a deed that suddenly that's our zone over there. But when the U.S. gives you $33 billion, they own you. That is how the U.S. works. We don't give $33 billion away for nothing. This is a purchase of Ukraine. I believe very strongly that that's what we're seeing here.
Well, we're going to hear a little bit more from Brittany Shepard again. Again, this is ABC Live.
Well, $33 billion, huge sticker shock. That's larger than some countries' entire military budgets. And it's saying a couple of things from the White House. One, that Biden believes that he is serious about commitments and not just short-term commitments. It signals a change in policy that the White House is willing to stick along with Ukraine and supporting countries in the region mid to long term. It kind of does three things. It shows the U.S. is helpful in trying to stabilize the region, to militarize the region.
Who destabilized it?
We're helpful. We're helpful in stabilizing the region.
To militarize the region. And if you're Volodymyr Zelensky, you are desperate for heavy militia. He's been asking this for months, going to the UN Security Council and saying, we need weapons, we need tanks. If you look in the line items of the
so that's another point that she's making, is that if part of this $33 billion is to militarize Ukraine, those regions, and Zelensky.
She said heavy militia. I know, that's interesting. Mean to say militia?
I don't know.
Sounds like artillery. Oh, we just sent them the 72 howitzer artillery cannons.
Oh, right.
Those suckers are popping up in headline images all over the place. They are showing those howitzers off. For those who don't remember, the last $800 million weapons package had 72 howitzer artillery cannons. I forget what they're called. 72 tactical vehicles to tow those cannons, and then 144,000 rounds. What a nice number.
72 chose. As well, a biblical number.
Exactly.
The table
it's
of nations.
It's a very sort of
Oh
very
my gosh.
sort of numerologically important.
And then now they're busting out
number.
$33 billion in it. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Every package. And look, let's get weird right at the front here, okay? I'm going to get weird for those of you who are new to the show. We're getting weird. Those of you who've been listening for a while, this will not be weird.
Yeah,
I mean, these
not
aid
weird
packages, these aid packages are sort of numerologically and occult significance of these numbers is not an accident.
No, especially how often they pop up and how close they. Yeah, there's no way.
You could think of these aid packages basically as spells. I mean, they're sort of using the overarching current New World Order sort of magical force, which is money, and they are basically casting spells with these aid packages, and you can see it in the numbers. And I mean, we are seeing some heavy movements in what the world is going to look like from now on. And this is not going away. This is a long term. They're basically, it's almost like, and even more so, but it's almost like a the U.S. has Israel in the Middle East there as sort of a proxy. Yeah. As again, there's a little bit of an ownership thing going on there. And with Israel sort of bucking at that and going to the yuan in many cases, it's like we're just pointing the spell in another direction and using Ukraine as the new proxy.
New proxy, yep.
We need weapons. We need tanks. If you look in the line items of this request to Congress, you're going to see willingness to give drones and other kind of unmanned vehicles to Ukraine, something that they'll be very happy about, and perhaps more importantly, to signify to Vladimir Putin that they are willing to stay in the region for as long as they need to. Of course, we've heard President Biden say that he is not willing to put boots on the ground, but is able to do everything up to that to show that they are standing with Ukraine and allied countries up until the end, whenever that might be. And there seems to be some congressional support. I mean, for all the other Ukrainian aid we've seen so far, there's been pretty unanimous bipartisan support. Of course, there's going to be some Republicans who are going to be keyed in to see some more of the line items, and the House is in recess coming up next week, so any kind of quick passage of aid we probably won't see soon, but probably will see in the next coming months.
Yep.
More.
Long term.
More than $33 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably another $33 billion.
I want to see an itemized list of all the aid we've sent over there, and I bet you would see these same numerological spells being cast with every package.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, part of moving this whole thing into this crazy new world order, or the new look of the new world order, or I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's the reptile shedding a layer of skin, you know, becoming new.